G'day everybody. I want to talk about stories, myths, and entertainment. And shooting stars is going to be the subject. Now, I've just seen a comment come in, a shooting stars they call it, nice big bright one. Go near over the Sydney Harbour Bridge. That's where they got the photo from, the footage, right? And so I just want to pop out something that's been on my mind for a little while when it comes to shooting stars, myths, and stories. Now, some stories are from entertainment, something made up, theory that stretched. And some stories actually have a story to it, like that a shooting star come down and it gave people powers and things like that. Now, it could be entertainment, stories, something to say at the campfire, and all these things. And so it keeps the human mind going when it comes to when we see interesting things. And so I want to give you a story about, well, actually, it could be a movie. We can bang this into a movie, but a whole theory about shooting stars and wishes and connection, right? And the universe and energy and old stories of such things happening when great things or bad things happen, right? There's a whole connection in that area. And so some people say when you see a shooting star, you make a wish and your wish may come true, right? Now, that could have been just circumstances and luck when it comes to those areas where people can prove that that's what I did and that's what happened. And so we're going to say it's a good theory, it could be happening, right? Well, here's another one that could be happening. When a shooting star comes down, not everyone gets to make a wish. It's too easy. Imagine everyone, whole heap of people, and then some people point out, that's just so many wishes it's got to grant and all these kind of things. But stars and all these things, and certain ones, definitely ones that light up and a bit more different than others, are linked to stories, as I said. And so when it comes to who gets a wish, it could work like this, right? And it's not so much a wish. You could look at it like a wish, but it's part of the universe and how it connects and stuff like that, right? And we talk about ancestors arriving and all these things and stuff like that. And so, how could we connect to such a story of shooting stars and they make a wish, right? So, what I come up with is that when a shooting star comes down, the first person that sees it, it gets like the duck effect, right? So, the comment's the duck, right? Who's seen Skyline, where you see the blue light and it takes over people's minds and stuff like that? Um, it proves that light has information, right? Light is information, stuff like that. So you can get a download just by looking at light, right? And so you look at the comment, and when you do that, it connects with you. So it either picks whoever it looks at and then chooses the connection it's going to do. So it's here for a mission. It could be an ancestor coming in and it needs to connect. How would it connect? Right? You can put this in a movie, and it connects to either the first person that sees it, or out of all the people that sees it, because there's a super processor, right? It'll pick the person that it chooses to help it solve what it wants and what the other person wants. You know what I mean? So you become a host, right, of this thing that rocks up. So in a way, you get like special gifts. So when you start getting your wishes, they're not granted. You create them. You manifest them. Pretty cool, ain't it? You can imagine this movie, right? And that's how you get your grant a wish. But sometimes, and not just that one, but it could be also an entity here for a reason. And so it works with you and you work with it. So you get some of your wishes, but you also might find that you become something else and do other things that you normally wouldn't have done until you had this connection, right? And that's how you can get some spiritual stories of how certain people maybe have connected, right? And I can make a whole little movie script line to show you the basics of that, and then you can just pick out what kind of people and what story, love story to add into that. You know what I mean? But wishes and shooting stars and comments, hey? What do you reckon? Reckon that could be a theory? You let me know in comments. See you later.